Yeah,
You slept a little?
yes.
Got a lot of books. You slept a little?
What's up?
Did you talk to David?
I slept this morning.
How's he doing? Is he home? Well,
He's home.
anything? Is he working on it?
It was status quo.
My status quo. Nothing changed.
They're supposed to go out.
Well,
They're supposed to go out to somebody's house for the Suda. So he says, I'm going to go. Just to,
make it look good.
just
He needs a student. But not because he wants to be with her. Because nobody's making any changes. Nobody's.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Hello, Abe.
Hello, how are you, Mario?
Very good. And
Are you
you?
fasting? Are you fasting today?
No,
No?
I
Okay.
take too many medications to.
Yeah, I hear you.
The only time I fast is I don't take medications is Yom Kippur.
Hmm. What time is mincha by you guys?
Hmm?
What time they mincha?
What time? What?
It's mincha by you.
We should be here now, no?
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
we're on Mem Test 49. Tani Rabba Bar of Chana Kamei Rav. Kivse Atzer Sheshachtu Nushumeli. The lambs of Shavuos, if he had in mind that they were lambs, not lambs. Ksheri. You can eat the meat, but the tzibur has to bring another Kivse Atzeres. Armalei Rav Olu v'Olu. No. The tzibur doesn't have to bring a repeat one. Why? Arav Chizra Mistavra Milsa Rav because Sover Eli Mushakl Shum Kvasim. the guy who shechted it made a mistake. He thought it was rams, and he shechted them, thinking that they with the intention that they're lambs, and they really were lambs. So in that case, in the end, they were lambs that got shechted, l'shem lambs. Let's say he thought that the lambs, he made a mistake. He thought they were rams. He shechted them, having in mind rams, low. Then it would not fulfill the tzibur's obligation. Because even akira betos, havi akira. When you remove the classification, even though if you do it by accident, the classification has been removed. However, Rabba Amar Akir Betos Lavi Akir. Since it was a mistake, that it doesn't remove it completely, and therefore they would not have to bring another set of lambs to fulfill their chova. Amar Rabba. Umusvina Nashmaitzen. We can ask a kasha from the following Mishnah. HaKohanim shepiglu b'migdash. Kohanim, a Jew brought a korban, and the Kohen had a machshavas pigul. Now, the guy who had to bring the korban was Reuven, who did the damage. So if the Kohen did it mezidin, chayavim, they have to pay to the owner of the korban the value of the korban, because the guy has to bring another korban. However, if the Kohen was a shogeg, hashoigigin pturin. The Tani Alon, we learned it, pigul on pigul, that even if they did it b'shogeg, the animal becomes pigul. Now, hechidami, what's the case? Let's say he knew that the korban he was dealing with is a chatas. Now, a chatas can only be eaten for that day. And he had in mind that he could eat it for 2 days, which is like a shlamim, and that's a machshavas pigul, right? If you have in mind to eat something beyond its time, that makes it pigul. But then that's what you just explained. Hai shoigig and mezitn havu. That's not shoigig, they were mezid. Really, the animal was a chatas, but he thought, he made a mistake, he thought it was a shlamim. The kamachashibu l'shum shlamim. Ukitani pigul and pigul. Yet the animal still becomes pigul. Alma akira betos avi akira. The fact, even though he made a mistake, the fact he uprooted it from a chatas and made it a shlamim worked. Amalei Abaya, don't learn the way you learn. Lo'olam diyada de chatas. He knew that it was a chatas. The kamachashibu l'shum shlamim. He had in mind that he could eat it for 2 days like a shlamim. Because ba'omer mutter, it's not a shogeg. He thought it was okay to have such a kavana. So in that case, he's potter. But if the Kohen made a mistake, and he knew it was a chatas, and he made a mistake and he ate a shlamim, the akira betos is not a real akira. Mostly Rab Zever. Rab Shimon Oimer. A kmitza that was a mincha that was the kmitza that was done shalol lishmo, you still can eat the flour, and all the bottom mishum chayfa. The bottom don't have to bring another korban. She'ena menacha is domes lizvachim. A mincha is not like an animal korban. Hakoy mates, there are many different ways of processing the mincha. You have machvas, which is like a pancake. L'shum marcheshet was like a deep fry. And it doesn't make a difference what his machshava was. How he prepares it tells us that it's a machvas. Or chareva l'shum blula. Or it's a dry mincha instead of an oily one. Maseh mochichna leshi chareva. Aval bizvachim ain't okay. The act of shchita or kabbalah or halacha or zrika, we don't know. Shchita achas lekula. You shech the shlamim and a chatetz and a noshim all the same way. Kabbalah achas lekula, zrika achas lekula. There's nothing in the processing that can tell us that, oh, it doesn't make it worse. Machshava is because we're seeing how he does it. The way you do it is not unique. And hechidami. Let's say it was a machlas mincha, which is like a pancake, and he did a kmitza and have in mind that it should be a deep fry. Well, who cares that later on it's going to be a deep fry? He uprooted the designation of that korban. Ella must be lav because for marcheshes he thought all along he's dealing with a marcheshes. And he did the kmitza l'shem marcheshes, but the tov, because really it's a machvas. So the uprooting of the korban was, he made a mistake. Because it's clear with the processing that he does, it's really a machvas, not a marcheshes. But we might learn from there that if you change the status of a korban, it's going to change. Normally, Abai no. So he knew it was a machvas. And he had in mind that it should be a marcheshes. You said, who cares that the processing of marcheshes is different than a machvas? Rabba l'tamei, the Omer Rabba, machshav de l'minkra posel rachmana. The Torah only said that if you have a kavana, which is not correct, but you can't recognize that it's a change, then it's posel. Machshav de minkra lo posel rachmana. But if you see the machshava is actually being carried out with a different action, then the Torah doesn't invalidate that. Every day on Yom Tiv or Shabbos, the Olas HaTamid was brought, and then you brought additional korbanos musafi. Bringing the Tamid has nothing to do with the musaf. Law musafim makvin satmidin. Law musafim makvin said the animals in the musaf don't. If you didn't bring this animal, you still bring the other ones. Lo ikrivu keves baboker. The tzibur offered a lamb in the morning and a lamb in the afternoon. If they didn't offer the lamb in the morning, yakrivu bein arbaim. You can still offer the lamb in the afternoon. Rab Shimon, a Masai, bizman shayanusim or shogakim. They were shogeg in the reason why they didn't bring the morning one, or they didn't have. But if they had, and they didn't do it b'mezid, Rabbi Shimon says if you didn't willingly bring the korban in the morning, you don't bring the korban in the afternoon. Similarly, lo hiktiru k'toras b'boiker, if the k'toras was not offered in the morning, doesn't make a difference. Yaktiru bein arbaim. You can offer the afternoon incense on Rabbi Shimon. V'kul isa kreva bein arbaim. What happened every day, half of the normal amount was offered in the morning, half of the normal amount was offered in the evening. If for some reason they didn't offer it in the morning, the whole shiur was offered in the afternoon. The first time you use the minchas hazav inside the heichal, which was offered in the afternoon, was also a complete mana, was a complete amount. So therefore, there's no problem with offering a complete amount. The law mizbacha oila ela b'tamid shel shachar. When you inaugurate a new mizbeach, the first korban you should bring on it is the morning ola. Similarly, if you build a new shulchan, lo sa shulchan ela b'lechem haponim b'Shabbos. The Lechem HaPanim inaugurates the new Shulchan. The lighting of the menorah in the afternoon is the first avoda that should be done on a new menorah. Boivnei Rav Chia Barav and Rav Chisda. Tzibur shein lem tmidin and musafin. The tzibur doesn't have enough korbanos to offer the ola and the ola satamid and the musaf. Ezemen kodim, who takes precedence? Hechidami. Ilem tmidin diyomi musafin diyomi. You're talking about today's ola satamid and today's musaf. Pshita tmidim adifi. Davulu tadir makudish. They are holy as a musaf, but they're brought more often than a musaf. The shaila is tomorrow's ola satamid, and today's musaf. Do we say that tmidim adifi shekain tadir? We should save the animal for tomorrow's tamid. O dilma musafin adifi davalo makud. It's more holy because it's today's korban, not tomorrow's. Armalei tenisu. The answer is from our Mishnah. If you didn't bring the tamid, it doesn't do anything to not bring the musaf. V'lo musafid makvin satmid. V'lo musafid makvin zedzeh. Hechidami. Ilemi de islay. If you have enough animals for both, v'likdim. Maybe the Mishnah is saying you could bring either one first. But that can't be correct. Vatanya, minayin shlo yehi davar kodim l'tamid shel shachar. Every morning, the first korban of the day is the oila satamid. Tamad lamer va'aracha le'a ha'oila. V'amer rava ha'oila, oila rishon always goes morning. So that, it's a pshita that the tamid goes first. So that can't be what the Mishnah is asking about. Ela pshita de Leslie. We're talking about a case where they didn't have enough animals. And the Mishnah ruled that you could choose either one. Idiome, if both the Ola Satamid and the Musaf was that day, amai. Why should it be equal? Tadir Makudish, when you have something that's done more frequently versus somebody that is more holy, Tadir Odiv. Right? Tadir goes, Elav de Lamochar. So it must be that we're dealing with the Tamid tomorrow. Because then it's a chiddush. Uktani and makvin zed. Neither ruins the other. So kiyadarinir. There we treat them equally, and you can choose which one you want to bring. So Armalei Abaya no. La'olam de islahu. The tzibur had enough animals for both. Vilikadim, and the question is that the Mishnah is dealing with which one should go first. This rule that nothing should go prior to the olah, that's a mitzvah of almahu. Listen, it's a mitzvah and a mufchur to do it that way, but it's not that you can't do it the other way. Toshma. Ein parchsin meshisha tloim avukarim belishkas atloim. You can never have less than 6 lambs that have been checked in the place where they kept the lambs in advance for the olah satamid. Why do you need 6? Because the maximum is 6. Because even in the Eretz Yisrael, Rosh Hashanah could be days. It's about Thursday, Friday, and so the maximum, you'd have to always have 6. That's the maximum number of lambs that you're ever going to need at one shot. If the tzibur had enough animals for both, so then there's a lot more than 6. Tuvahave. Elalav de Leslie. We're talking about when you need 6, when you don't have enough for everything. You only have 6. And yet, what are those 6 kept back for? For the tamids. Ushmami no tamidim adifin. So we see clearly from this case that the tamid is odif over the musaf. However, the Gemara rejects that. Lo olam dislay. We could say that the Mishnah is talking about when they have enough lambs. V'achi kamar. In poisem mishisha tlema v'okar belishkas atloim. You never have less than 6 checked lambs. Arba yomim kodim shchita. You always have to check them 4 days before you shechted them. Only for the Tomid, not the Musaf. Umani ben Bagbaghi. The Tay ben Bagbag boiner. Minayin letomid sheton bikur arbor yomim kodem shchita. The animal had to be checked 4 days before. Talmud loymar, tishmeru lakriv li b'moado. You should guard it. Be careful. Ulalon loymer v'ayalachem lemishmeres ad arba'asar yom. You have to watch it from the 10th, because that's when you take the Korban Pesach, until the 14th. Malahalan ton bikur arbor yomim kodem shchita. You have to check it every day for 4 days. Afkan ton bikur arbor yomim kodem shchita. To make sure it doesn't have mumim. Amrle Ravina Ravashi, Ani Shisha. What do you mean? It should really be Shiva. Va'ika did suffer the tlisa b'shapsa. Because not in our day, but in the time when they were Mekadesh Chodesh by Re'iyah, Rosh Hashanah could be Sunday and Monday. So they're worried that you also need to prepare for the Tamid of Tuesday morning. But then you need Friday afternoon. If Rosh Hashanah is Thursday and Friday, so you need 8. We're already talking about how many lambs you need after they offered the Friday afternoon Tamid. So you might need 7, 6 for the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah and Shabbos, and 1 more for the Tuesday morning. Okay. Tomorrow we'll learn at 7. I'm sorry. Right. So tomorrow there's no Tsurba. We'll do Tsurba on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll do it at 9 o'clock. Let's do it at 9 o'clock. That way everyone's finished. We don't have to worry about it.